Hi, this is Ed from Wright. I hope you're doing great today. I'm doing great today. My flight was delayed, so I'm hanging in Florida for a couple more hours before heading out. I'm not one to put a lot of stock into the psychology of positive thinking, but there is an effect where when you're positive about where you are today, you have a good understanding of yourself, and you know who you want to be in the future, what your goals are. Then when the alarm goes off in the morning, your behavior is going to be more in line with that. So stay positive, and I think you'll be more motivated towards hitting your goals. Anyhow, that's not the subject for today. Today I wanted to talk about the paradox of a gear drive walk behind machine. A lot of guys will say, hey, get yourself a gear drive machine. It's inexpensive. It's lower maintenance. You can work on it yourself, stuff like that. And some of that's true, okay? But here's the whole picture. You can't be casual with the math, okay? The numbers don't lie. You need to break this down, and I've done some of the numbers. I would encourage you to do some of the numbers in your case, in your region. But if you look at your expenses per an acre, that's the depreciation on the machine, maintenance, unplanned repairs, gas, that's the labor. All in, you're around $11, just over $11 per acre on a gear drive machine, okay? Now, if you go to dual hydro machine, and let's compare a 48-inch gear drive to a 48-inch standard B, okay? That's sort of our entry, lighter duty commercial stand-on mower. It's a little bit more than the gear drive walk behind, but with a machine like that, you're gonna be operating a little bit more, around $7 to $8 per acre, okay? So $7 to $8 to $11, okay? That's a huge gap in cost, okay? So yeah, you can save some money on the gear drive, but you'll make a lot more money on the dual hydro type machine like a standard B. And the reason for that is because when you look at your financial statement, and labor is your number one cost, okay? Then you have fuel, insurance, and a couple other things, and then somewhere down lower is the mower equipment, okay? And so you got to focus on that bigger number, labor, and the equipment not as much. Now, I'm not saying it's a good idea to go finance out the wazoo and get the most expensive $16,000 Z because it's going to be amazing. Not necessarily, okay? You got to be realistic about the type of jobs that you're doing, and in a compact residential lawn environment, you don't want that big of a machine necessarily. But remember, labor is your big expense. You got to work on that. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be frugal. You got to look at your expenses and cut your expenses and all that. But a lot bigger is to focus on your productivity. Now, one of the temptations, if you're an owner operator, is to not necessarily look at things dollars per an hour. You're just looking solely at expenses. What you got to realize is if you buy a lawnmower and say you financed it, and the difference between these two models I'm talking about is maybe $25 a month, okay? $25 a month for the more productive machine. Well, if you can get one or two more jobs in per day, you can make that incremental monthly payment amount difference in one day. Every other day of the month, you're making pure profit. You're making cash that you can put back into the business and reinvest in what you're doing. You want to be successful. You want to make money. You're not just doing this for the fun of it or for your health. I realize that. And you got to run the numbers and think wisely about what's going on. Focus on revenue, look at your productivity, and you got to watch your costs. But number one, get more revenue going. You got to make a good profit margin to be reinvesting the business. That's important as well. But none of that can happen without revenue. Revenue is how much is going through the pipe, and profit is your ability to leverage it, okay? So you need a lot going through the pipe, and you got to be real wise about how you leverage it. So hopefully that's helpful to you. And I'm here to try to help you be more successful. In fact, the more successful you are, the more we're able to be successful. And I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks.